That's the thing that really jumps out, just the raw speed that the kid had. I mean, he's probably the fastest kid that I've ever coached, actually, coaching all levels of college football and being at UCLA and Montana State. He just had blazing raw speed, and once he learned how to corral that, become a true running back, he became something special.
That speed is the reason LaVance Taylor's name is all over the Mules football record book. Speed, explosive plays, how Taylor pulled away from people was what head coach Jim Sabota and his staff saw in the Raytown native before Taylor even got to campus.
It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that he had exceptional speed, unusual speed for a high school kid, and to have an opportunity to get him at Central, we felt like if he came to our place that he could become a special player.
Taylor's impact on the Mules offense was immediate. As a freshman in 2011, he only started in one game, but he played in every single one and ended up leading the ground attack with 630 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. Sophomore year 2012, Taylor started every game and finished with 672 rushing yards. He also added kick returner to his resume, racked up 344 yards there, and at the end of the season, Taylor led UCM in all-purpose yards with 1,289.
We just knew that every time he touched the ball that he had the ability to go the distance.
In 2013, Taylor was a junior. He beefed up his all-purpose yards to 1,445, had 458 return yards and 721 rushing yards. Then came LaVance Taylor's senior year.
LaVance really became a great player in his senior year. Prior to that, obviously he did some outstanding things for us. At the same time, if he lacked anything in his game, it was the power aspect of it. And what LaVance did before his senior year was he really dedicated himself to the weight room. And so he really added a power element to his running game where he was running through tackles, and not only could he run by people and away from people, he could run through people, and then he really became special at that point.
In 2014, Taylor totaled 1,918 rushing yards, which was an average of 159 per game. Teams stopped kicking it to such a good returner, but he still managed to average 218 all-purpose yards per game, and Taylor finished the season with 2,618 all-purpose yards and 18 total touchdowns. Oh, and he led the Mules in receiving that year too. There's a particular game from that season that no one will forget. Thursday night at Walton Stadium, Kennedy Field in Warrensburg against Emporia State.
He fumbled the ball early in the game, and so he was really ticked off. They went down and scored after he fumbled, so he was even more upset. And then they made the bad mistake of kicking off to him, and he took the kickoff back for a touchdown. So that kind of ignited his sensational game that day.
On 23 carries, Taylor rushed for 288 yards and 4 touchdowns. He snagged a score through the air, and he ran a kickoff back 97 yards. That game gave Taylor the UCM records for most points in a single game, most touchdowns, most rushing yards, and most all-purpose yards. In the record book, looking at a single season, Taylor has the most rushing yards, which he leads by more than 300, and most all-purpose yards. In 2014, he had 10 games with 100 yards or more rushing. He's also the Mules' career leader in all-purpose yards with 6,231, leading that category by more than 400. His senior year, Taylor led all of NCAA Division II in all-purpose yards. He was 4th in rushing. He led the MIAA in every category for a running back.
So anytime out of 180 schools you're a statistical champion, you're awfully good, especially in a conference like the MIAA. So he was clearly a multi-purpose weapon for us.
LaVance Taylor was a 5-time All-MIAA honoree. He earned 3 All-Region awards and 4 All-American nods. In 2014, Taylor was a first-team AP All-American.
LaVance was a confident kid. He was a good teammate. He was a guy that was a mule through and through and wanted to win, really wanted to win more than he wanted to do anything else.